say to about there. Now I can right click, select the faces, and I'm going to go all the way around, just selecting that little edge that we've created. And just hit delete. And now all I need to do is go in there and clean up my polygon now. See how we have some three-sided faces hanging around? And we don't want those. So I'm just going to go in there and just start cleaning it up. These guys can get merged together. And this guy is going to come over here into there for now. I'm going to go into perspective, and you should get a good idea of what we just did. See how that's all apart now? So what I want to do now is just clean up the hood again. And when it comes to polygons, you always want a nice close edge wherever you're going to have a really prominent look where the metal kind of twists inwards. So I can actually delete this whole edge here for now. And it'll become more obvious what I mean when I go to smooth this in a minute. The closer you have the edges means the tighter, crisper edge you'll have when you either change into a subdivision or a polygon. And that's why I'm putting this edge line nice and close. There. And I'm going to come around here. Now, since I've pretty much done my hood for the moment, I'm just going to sculpt polygon it just a little bit, just to flatten it out. I'm going to detach the top too, because the top part of our hood is going to, or want to be, separate from the side. So I'm going to grab Edit Polygons, Detach, or Separate. And now we have two separate pieces of geometry. And once we put a smooth or convert into a subdivision for the hood, you'll see why I put those edges so close. So polygon the subdivision. And you see how nicely it keeps that shape in the corners. And we got one little extra vertex hanging out over here somewhere. There he is. So I'll just convert again. And there you have the beginnings of some detail. Now I'm just going to the side now, and I'm just manipulating the surface again just to round things out. Again, you always want to keep going back and forth, seeing what needs to be rounded and flattened up again. And we'll bring back our image planes. And we'll make sure everybody's lined up. We're going to convert back into a polygon. And we're just going to clean up this little section here of our car. So we're going to grab our split polygon tool again. And you see how we have a nasty three-sided face there. Just going to bring that up to here. And we can delete that. I can come across. And now it's just kind of cleaning up. And again, don't worry too much if it's not 100% like mine. Every model is going to be different. And all this geometry is going to change quite a bit more once we start adding all the little details that you see in the car, because this car has a lot of different angles shooting off in different areas. So that's going to affect our geometry. lot down the road as well. But for the most part, we're still just kind of making sure that everybody's lining up with everybody. And we're getting a nice, clean, and hopefully nice flat look, or as best as you can. And I'm just going to bring this down. And one other thing I want to show you guys just before we end this section is how to duplicate over, so that you can kind of get a feel of how your car is going to look as a whole and all the hard work that you've been up to. So to do that, what we're going to do is going to select the piece of geometry we want to move over or duplicate over, and we're going to modify freeze transformations. We're going to make sure that we're right down the center axis. So we're going to hit our insert, and you'll get this little icon change. You're going to hold down X, and that way you can manipulate it. Just make sure it snaps to the center. Hit insert again. I'm just going to grab some vertices here and line them right up. And then we're going to go edit, duplicate. Remember at the beginning of this tutorial I said mine were a little bit different. I have my regular duplicate shortcutted, and this one I always have at -1 in X. So when I hit apply, I'll have a mirror image pop over to the other side. So again, make sure that you're in the middle. Control D and Control D to duplicate. And that's what our car is looking like so far. So in 3 parts, we're coming along pretty good. We're starting to add the detail. Like I say, look at the hood. The hood's sitting in there really nice so far. And in the next section, what we're going to do is we're going to start knocking out the basic shapes of our fenders here, and our door we'll knock out, and we'll just see how far we get. So things are going to start changing a lot. We have the base shape up, and the fun will start in the next couple sections where we start adding more and more detail. But again, just keep going back and forth and smoothing. That's really important in the way that I build my hard surfaces. It's not, like I say, not very typical, because a lot of other modelers use pure nerves, and I like to use polygons. I'm a lot more comfortable with that. So it's a little bit different than the norm, but hopefully you guys are doing okay. So I'll talk to you all soon, and have fun. Take care.